This is the HeadRush Podcast with Paul Fraze and Corey Berry.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, today we're back in our studio, and we figured out we didn't just have one or two episodes, we had three.
In Tampa?
In Tampa.
When we were at the Mac Parkman Summit for Repeated Head Impacts.
International Summit.
International Summit, the only one in the world.
Only one in the world. And so we got to do a little intro. This episode you're about ready to watch is with the Patrick Risha CTE Awareness Foundation with Doug and Karen Ziegel. And also, we also have on this is Max Gray with
CTE
News, Facebook.
News. Yes, he's been awesome with social media and pushing StopCTE.org. He's been working with Karen and Doug Ziegel for quite a while, and he's actually really been a great advocate for the HeadRush Podcast.
Yeah,
he's been sharing a lot of our news, and we got to sit down with him and talk with him at Tampa, and it was a great talk.
Right, and so this episode will be with Karen Ziegel, Doug Ziegel, and of Patrick Risha's Stop CTE Awareness, and Max Gray with Chronic Traumatic Encephalopathy News on Facebook. So thank you, and please watch this. Ladies and gentlemen, this episode is brought to you by Millennium Health Centers, Dr. Mark Gordon at TBIHelpNow.org. He signed on with us. You've seen him in our episode 2 with Dr. Mizell DeMayo and Dr. Gordon.
Dr. Gordon's been featured on a movie, Quiet Explosions, a documentary about TBI. Featured Andrew Marr, a Green Beret blast explosive specialist, and they talk about TBI, PTSD, traumatic brain injury, and I've watched that movie about 4 times, and I know Dr. Gordon has also been on Joe Rogan 6 times, so he has something good and powerful to say about TBI, traumatic brain injury. So go to TBIHelpNow.org.
Correct.
And make sure you get in touch with their team. Dr. Gordon also works with the military. Do you want to?
Yeah, he works with the United States military. He's done the Pentagon. He's working real close with them. If you're a veteran and you need help, go to TBIHelpNow.org. Dr. Mark Gordon quit his private practice just to work with the military.
Work with veterans suffering with PTSD.
Right, PTSD, TBIs, and repeated blast impacts.
Exactly.
And if you are a veteran, there's nothing closer to my heart than the people that serve our country and protect our way of right and our way to be able to do this podcast for you. So go to TBIHelpNow.org and get the help you need. Mark Gordon, we work with him on the Brainwell program through Mizell DeMayo. If you go to TBIHelpNow.org, there's a list. There may be a provider in your area in Canada. He's all over. So go to TBIHelpNow.org and check it out. Welcome back for the second episode at the Mac Parkman Foundation Subconcussive Summit here in Tampa, Florida. As you can see, I'm wearing a beautiful Floridian shirt.
Yeah, you gave me some excuse that they didn't have a double XL for me. But,
Triple XL.
Oh. I'm getting rid of some of my fluffiness, Corey.
I know. You've been on that sugar diet. How's that going, by the way?
It's been going well. I feel good. I've lost a little bit of weight, and my focus is coming back a little bit, so we're good.
Right on. Well, guess what?
What?
We got another one of our sponsors that showed up. Not only does she sponsor the HeadRush Podcast, but she is the title sponsor for the Repeated Head Impact Conference going on right now, and Repeated Blast Exposure Conference going on right now here in Tampa, Florida, with the Mac Parkman Foundation, and I finally get to meet you guys in person. It's so awesome. I've met the grandkids, I've met the cars, I've met everything, but I've never seen y'all in person. It's awesome, and I just love you for it.
I feel like we already did. It's funny that it's.
Well, we're in a small club, I think. Well, it's probably a lot. It's a lot bigger than we know, isn't it? Isn't it? Well, we are fortunate to have Karen and Doug Ziegel of the StopCTE.org and the Patrick Risha Foundation for CTE Awareness. And Corey calls Karen the godfather of CTE awareness, and that we're here on at this conference for an important message to share and to get out and to bring awareness to that repeated head impacts can and will cause mental health issues
and brain damage.
And even to the point of suicide ideation or actual suicide. Yeah. And Karen and Doug have their relationship to the Mac Parkman Foundation and Bruce Parkman and his wife is they have locked arms in the fight against of raising awareness for repeated head impacts, because they both lost their sons to suicide. And Mac Parkman, he was a young man that played 10 months of concussive and physical sports in high school, and at 17 or 18 years old, was he 18 years old? He decided that he was better off
not being here.
And then Patrick Risha, he played football for how many years? How did he start? Young?
10 years old he started.
His final football playing days were at Dartmouth.
Yes.
He went to Dartmouth and he played out his final days of football, and then probably about 10 years later.
Yeah, about 10 years later. 10 years of steady decline. That's everything.
Did you? So we try to really bring the awareness to parents that.
Well, Tatiana talked about it today. Noticing the signs. And Doug, I've heard Doug talk about it on the podcast, and I've heard him discuss it that, sometimes, and my daughter, I love her to death, but with my mental capacity and my rage, what is that phrase? Hard love or tough love.
Tough love.
And that when you start seeing little bits of failure, you think it's time to be tough love. You got to figure it out.
Yes.
And what Tatiana was talking about, and we're going to have her on the podcast. Tatiana McCall is Ray Lewis's
Wimberley now.
She's right. Newly married, but she has 3 kids with Ray Lewis that you played with.
Right.
And they lost Ray, their oldest, to stage 2 CTE, Karen?
Yes.
At 28 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And how old was Patrick when he passed?
32.
32. So we're not talking about NFL players right now. We're talking about college players.
No.
Because wasn't Ray still in college at University of Wyoming or something?
He was playing semi-professional.
He was playing semi-pro?
Yeah.
That I don't know, but I think you're right.
Yeah.
But the damage is done way too early.
Yes.
And hearing her talk about the symptoms, What were some of the symptoms that you think back now and go, this was CTE related?
So Patrick's first symptoms, I did not think it was CTE, thought it was teenage stuff. I thought maybe the protein drinks he was drinking were causing a change. I definitely noticed a change. He was shorter tempered, almost rude sometimes. He was,
and that wasn't him growing up.
No, he was so sweet and loving and just wanted to be where everybody was. And then he started to hang out in the basement with his buddies or by himself playing Madden football or whatever was going on at the time. So I thought it was protein drinks. I studied online or maybe teenager stuff. I would talk to his dad. We got to straighten him out. He's not. And he pulled an incident on me that, reflecting back, there was a lot going on. He played every play in the football, at high school football. He played 60 plays a game, at least. They never threw the ball, ever. They called Patrick the horse. And so he was getting the ball all the time. Every now and then, somebody else, but everybody knew Patrick was going to get the ball, and everybody went after him. And so he would come back home like a piece of meat. He was blue and red and just horrible. And
you were mentioning an incident that
oh yes, I'm sorry. So I phased out there.
Well,
where am I? It's a long day at the Mac Parkman Foundation.
It was. I tell you.
I'm tired.
This is the first one I've been to. You're second.
yes. Well,
Karen's
only been
second.
two. Yeah, right.
Right.
Yeah.
And my first. And I'll tell you, listening to the speakers today, it is absolutely awesome.
Yeah, it is.
And
I'm very proud.
Listen to Frank Larkin talking about his son.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, an incident we had, Patrick was getting beat up a lot. And he was down in the basement drinking with his buddies. And one of the kids was like 12 or 13 years old. And I flipped. And I said, "What are you doing?" And I grounded him. And the next day at work, I get a call, "Mom, I don't want to be grounded." And I went, "You're grounded. There's nothing else I can do about it." And I hung up the phone, and I'm like going, for once, I'm going to be strong. For once, I'm going to be, he's not going to. And the next call I got was from my daughter. He had taken a whole bottle of Tylenol. The ambulance was on its way. So looking back, I think his brain was so inflamed from that whole season of trying to get to the championships and him always having the ball and getting beaten up. I think that could have been a suicidal attempt. And so that was a sign. And then he was starting to get in fights, and Patrick never got in fights. And so that all kind of subsided, and he got accepted at Deerfield Academy, went there, was beloved. I didn't see or hear anything else that whole next year. So we're good to go. We're fine. And then he gets to Dartmouth. And then I start to hear different crazy things that he would do. But it was like college stuff. College. And my ex used to do college stuff, like try to chew glass and do different things like that.
Sounds like a cowboy.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't?
I thought
I never tried to chew glass.
Okay, good.
I thought
You're
that's
smarter than I thought.
just, throwing TVs in the cars, stupid stuff that guys do. I thought that was just, I would hear funny stories. We'd
Fraternity
go
frat
after
stories.
stuff.
Yeah.
But his senior year at college, he couldn't pass French, no matter how hard he tried. And he had a test done, and they said he had audio processing disorder.
Mm.
And I went, what the heck is audio processing disorder? And it's the information they're hearing is not what's being said. And boy, that's CTE. If you live with someone with CTE, you can have a conversation and they're hearing something totally different.
Gibberish.
So that was another sign that he was maybe starting to get CTE. Graduated, came home. He got diagnosed with ADHD. Where did that come from? How do you graduate from Dartmouth and now you've got ADHD? And then it was PTSD. And then he was addicted to painkillers, Percocet. Rehab said he had, what was the anger issue one? Explosive disorder. I mean, these things just kept piling
Snowballing.
on top of, and the rehab places said, you need to play hardball. You need to, with the drug addiction, you need to let them hit bottom. And 2 weeks before Patrick died, he said, Mom, I know what you're trying to do. He said, you're trying to make me hit bottom. So he was on to me.
And to put it in perspective, that was 10 years ago, 11 years ago, when he said that to her. We had never heard the words chronic traumatic encephalopathy. We didn't know anything about repetitive head injuries. And this was all just vapor. I mean, nobody knew. And when Patrick passed, one of the first things that Karen said, if only I knew. And that's one of the themes here at the convention. If only we know. And awareness is growing. It'll never grow fast enough in our humble estimation, but research is roaring. You guys are doing your podcasts. People are talking about it freely. People are beginning to understand the concept. We never imagined it would take 11 years to even have this discussion, but we're having it. And parents today, maybe if they become aware of the situation, if they have a child in gymnastics or collision sports or, someplace where they're going to hit their head and they start seeing behaviors, they may start to think about, the brain. We learned the hard way that the brain is more fragile than we've ever known. And we don't have to we have to now live in a different world where we have to protect this as much as we protect our eyes and our teeth and our ears and the other parts of our body.
So we are, okay, parents, we talk about, I have kind of evolved my attitude towards playing football at youth. When 10 years ago, I was sitting in an owner's box with Chris Nowinski, a professional football team, the Jaguars owner's box. And I was sitting with Chris and I said, Chris, I chose to play this game. And he said, but Paul, what about those 7-year-old kids? They're not choosing to play. They're either playing because their fathers want them to play or their mothers want them to play. Very few are saying,
friends want to play.
Very few are saying, seeing football on the screen and saying, I got to play football.
Yeah.
But
I think the toughest thing is when they get to middle school, and we experienced this with Patrick's son Peyton. They get to middle school and the cool boys are starting to play football. And when you're in ninth grade, you want to be the cool kid. And
it's not easy in today's culture. You know, it's so sports concussive, head related, sports crazed that these kids, they're exposed to it, and of course they want to be in the cool crowd.
Yeah.
But it's just amazing when you start learning about the science. So I chose to, maybe flag football until you're 14 years old. Well, I didn't start playing football until 14 years old.
I know. I think Patrick's probably worst damage was high school.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think, I don't know. I'll never know, but I would say high school.
I would say, so looking back on our tailback in high school who got the ball every time because he was the superstar, I don't doubt that the
How's he doing now?
We who have had repeated head impacts and we lose some of our executive function, we can snap back into it and be focused for a little while.
Exactly.
He does. He actually runs a successful business, but he has the headaches he had. He got beat up.
Yeah.
Just like Patrick.
But Paul, when you decided to play football at 14, what was your biggest fear?
Not getting my head.
It was orthopedic. It was breaking bones, breaking your back, being paralyzed.
Yeah, you. I didn't. Right? No coach told me hitting your head. I started understanding because in college, during double sessions, I would every hit. It was an excruciating pain. Just 4 Advil just to get on the field and then go through a practice. And we were actually concussed while we were practicing. Practicing when you have a low grade concussion or whatever, but you're seeing stars every time you're hitting and you're cringing the pain in your head. And you're like, but still, nobody.
So brave. I got to give it to you. So brave.
Nobody said that's not good, but eventually you start to smarten up and saying that's probably not good. And in fact, in the NFL, they started getting 300 pounds. And
Corey, when you strapped yourself on a Bronco, what was your biggest fear?
Death.
The head. Was
death.
Death. Oh, death.
Yeah,
not of the Bronco.
No, me dying. I've lost friends in the arena.
Yes.
Wow.
In the arena.
Yeah. Or on the way to the hospital or at the hospital after an injury. In rodeo, we have a saying. It's not a matter about getting hurt. You're going to get hurt. It's a matter of how bad when it happens. And I've had 5 shoulder surgeries. I've had a neck fusion. I've had 2 back fusions. I've broken several bones in all of my ribs. I've been metaflighted. And you look at it, and I look back as a kid now and I go, I was riding that Jeep at 4 or 5 years old because my stepfather thought it was cool. Put me on a sheep and it just goes out and runs around. And you fall off and but then you get to look and I can't remember when I had my first concussion. I can't remember most of my childhood. I can't remember, but, you look at the repeated head impacts. It's like I said today when they had me speaking at the Mac Parkman Summit, is that there's no safe age.
Yeah.
There's not.
No.
People say wait until you're 14. Paul waited till he was 14. and
a
he's
lot of
dealing.
pro players didn't start.
Right.
And they,
So if,
We didn't even have a high school in my hometown.
if
so
you're
that's
capable, you're going to make it no matter when you start.
oh,
And
exactly.
if so, in my book, there's no safe age. So what do we need to do? We need to share hope. We need to share awareness. We need to share modalities. We need to let these kids know that if they get their head knocked, it's okay to look at the coach and saying, dude, I can't see straight, because I think a lot of the problem in football is in the Pop Warner and the lower
It's
in the lower ranks where there's no
worst.
medical attention, there's no team.
And the
There's-
key word for us is awareness.
Mm-hmm.
And the awareness that we seek, or at least that we've discussed, is when we say lung cancer, what do you think of?
cigarettes.
Right?
Yeah.
And you could start when you're 7 or 12 or 20, but that's what we think of. But when we see brain injury or repetitive head trauma or CTE, we don't know what to think yet, but it would be awareness would be the greatest if we automatically say, was there a history of repetitive head trauma of some kind in this person's past that might send them to a less than sane state of mind? And we're not there yet. We've got a long way to go.
I think too, sports, to your point, sports could do a lot better to protect the players. There's no reason to hit in practice.
None.
And that is still going on in my community. I can hear them on Tuesday banging. And
I live in Texas.
yeah, I know.
You were saying
No reason those kids should have their brains inflamed Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and go into that game on Friday totally inflamed. There's no reason for that. And I think that's a travesty in this country. I think it's just wrong that we're
You
doing
look
it.
at it, fitness, steps, timing. There's so much
there's plenty
education
to
you
work-
can learn.
There's plenty
Your
to work
play.
on your
Make 'em know those
agilities
plays.
and all the things that go, your proper techniques.
Right.
You can practice proper tackling techniques without hitting another player. You can, those tackling dummies, you can easily keep your head out of it and use your shoulder. But
How many of these kids do you think you were talking about the weight of your big toe on the line, putting pressure down on the big toe for a certain move or something? That's what these kids could learn. They don't need to learn
Sure.
to hit that guy.
Yeah.
It's, if I move my body and use my mechanics to hit this way, it's a safer hit. It's not, hey, Johnny. I mean, I saw it on Facebook the other day. There's 2 kids, I bet you they weren't 7 years old, helmet to helmet.
yeah,
Just-
And
CLF
it's like,
had-
are you freaking kidding me?
And when they slammed in, because some people say, oh, the kids they don't hit hard enough to cause any, and you see a 5, 6, 7-year-old slamming and their head snapping back because their neck muscles are not strong enough to even absorb any of the contact or the blow. That's the subconcussive hits that cause
Boom.
the mental health issues and the brain damage.
It
Brain
is
damage.
brain damage.
Yeah.
So I don't like to talk a lot about CTE because it's like I said today, the only way I'm going to find out if I have CTE is by dying, and I'm not ready to die yet.
Biomarkers are on their way.
Huh?
I think biomarkers are on their way. And I think
think
a couple years they're going to be able to say
Right.
yes or no.
Well, we were talking to one feller
yeah.
about, he's in Colorado, right? And he was talking about a biomarker that they're working on.
In I think St. Petersburg, right?
Or St.
here?
Petersburg. Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
it is exciting that the research is ongoing, but again, back to there's no safe age, and parents. I love
football. I love to watch football. I love rodeo. I never want to stop rodeo. I mean, my brothers, if I was healthy right now, I'd be getting on a bucking horse knowing what I know.
Well, but you do say on the podcast frequently that, okay, if the parents, at a certain age, if the parents want to play, or if Johnny wants to play contact football, the parents need to have a meeting. There's got to be a presentation of what can happen.
A one-day conference.
Yeah.
And bring in people like Karen. Bring in people like Bruce Parkman of the Mac Parkman Foundation. Bring in people like me or you or Chris Boyce that suffer from it, and let these kids, and I make it to where I would love to see a letter that they have to sign. The mother, the father, and the participant.
All the symptoms.
Right.
A letter with all the symptoms to look for. If you're starting to see behavioral issues,
right.
that could be brain inflammation.
Right. And
you
have some documentation like that on stopcte.org.
Mm-hmm.
And we highly recommend it, if you want to learn anything about repeated head impacts and CTE and the problems that stem from repeated head impacts, get on stopcte.org and just scroll through and you're gonna learn so much about this subject and this topic.
And if you're suffering from it or feel like you're suffering from it, reach out to Karen at stopcte.org. And also, if you're gonna go to a doctor, she has a form that she had done that you can go in and mark off all your symptoms and everything, and take that form. Oops, sorry, guy. Take the form to your neurologist and say, "Here." Karen don't like me saying it, but if you ask me who's more important in the world of CTE, CLF or you,
silly.
I pick you. Now, I'm going to say something. CLF and their support groups and their helplines and everything are phenomenal.
They're helping a lot.
For
of people.
everybody.
Are phenomenal.
That's where we actually met on the helpline
Right.
on Zoom. Yeah.
And so, Concussion Legacy Foundation
When they started that helpline, I cried out of happiness.
You knew it.
Because
You
at
knew
that
it
time,
saved
I
some
was
people.
dealing with, and I'm not qualified to do that. And
You're qualified.
And I was dealing
You lived through it more than most.
a day from people needing help, and so that helpline is it's saving lives, and I'm proud of that.
And the kids that run it, like Tyler,
yeah,
they know how to counsel, and they are so affirmative. Every share, and we're talking some people that are way worse off than Corey, but
that's possible.
Not very much.
Well, no, but Corey gets to share on the those calls all the time, and people really appreciate what he has to say. But Tyler, and when somebody they're hurting, Tyler will let them speak, and then he'll reaffirm them. I'm sorry that you have gone through this tragedy and this trauma, and
all they need.
That's all they need to hear, that they've been heard.
Nobody knows.
Well,
and then you get someone like me on there, which CLF likes. Tyler and Mike both have reached out to me and said, "Man, we love you being on the support group," because it's like, dude, you got to realize something. How many years did you play football? How many years did you box? How many years did you do? It took that many years to get you where you're at right now. We're not going to cure you tomorrow.
That's smart.
It's going to take that many years to get you back. If you got the dedication and drive to play a sport, to be in contact, and I mean, there's people on there that are military and other avenues, skaters and everything. But if you're dedicated enough to become the best of what you are, by gosh darn it, I'm going to get riled because I do every time I talk like this. You can be that dedicated to get yourself healed. When it comes to suicide, I get so pissed off because you know what? I've called this man. I don't tell him, hey, I'm thinking of killing myself, because I'm not that way. But it's like, hey, Paul, talk to me about something. Get my brain stuck on a subject. Get me off of that subject. And he'll hold that conversation until we get going. Now, does he know I'm suicidal? Not all the time. And none anymore. Now he pretty much just tells me to F off. I'm busy. But
it's him. Okay.
Time.
but you look at it, if it took you 30 years to get abused, it's going to take you a few years. And if you can't last a day, you can last an hour. If you can't last an hour, you can last a minute. If you can't last a minute, last till a second. What's your favorite? Sun up to sunset.
Well, and what you're speaking, the language you're speaking right now is the language that we need to keep touting and shouting through the rooftops, because if Patrick or Mac had this outlet or had some way to communicate what they were feeling and what they were going through, they would have had a chance. Just like you guys have both said, if we had only known. You already said, you just said that about Karen, that she said if we had only known. And wow.
And that's what's hard, is denial.
Right.
I will admit, I got diagnosed in 99 with cognitive nerve damage from UCSF, University of California, San Francisco, of cognitive nerve damage from too many hits to the head. Did I accept that diagnosis? No, I'm a cowboy. I'm going to buck up, shut up, and get up, and I'm going to go live my life.
Do you see what I have to deal with?
Yes.
And then, 2014 happened, buck up, shut up. I was in denial.
No.
We watched Concussed, and my wife started crying and go, oh, my God, honey, that's you.
Concussion?
Concussion with Will Smith. And then, I started paying a little bit of attention to it in 14. But still, I got my life to live. I got to work. I got to make money. I got to do this. I got to do this. I'm married. I have a child. I need to be a parent. I need to be a man. And so I still pushed it off and dealt with what I had to deal with internally. And it caused my daughter problems. It's caused my wife problems. And we've been married almost 27 years. And she stuck me through all of this. But,
She's an angel.
If you have symptoms, there's hope. There's awareness. There's modality. There's people like Bruce Parkman, people like Karen Ziegel, people like Concussion Legacy Foundation.
Helpline. Yeah, there's support groups. Like 6 years ago, we tried to start a support group, and it just kind of fizzled out. Now they're all over the place.
Right.
Oh, dude, they got support groups for everything now.
Everything. Thank God. Yeah.
But there's one thing that Karen put on the website that's, I think, very helpful, which is a little bit of a tutorial on things you should say and things you really shouldn't say to someone who's suffering mental challenges, because you can poke the bear or you can soothe the bear.
That's right.
and just a few. And once you read that, you get the idea of how you approach, because now you're not a parent as much as you're a caregiver,
right,
under those circumstances. And now you don't want to toughen them up. You want to make them get through the next day, or get through the next few hours, or see that there's a better way to handle the crisis that we're dealing with right now, which just could be about jelly beans, because it doesn't.
And it's 100% preventable.
Yeah.
Take out practice, take out all the head hits, reduce the amount of concussions. You can pretty much, I'm not going to say 100% preventable, but you can reduce it by 80% easy by reducing the amount of contact. So it's preventable. But I want to let you guys get back to the party, because you are a title sponsored. I want you to enjoy.
Hot.
Yeah, those are LED. They're
Oh, they're not.
And but I want to thank you again for.
Maybe it's just being here with you guys.
You warm people.
well.
I want to thank you for being our sponsors again. Thank you for being a title sponsor to this.
Sponsor. We're very proud of you, and you did a good job today on the panel. You really educated a lot of people. That it was a good thing in that room for you to be there and talk.
What do you both want to get out of today going forward? I mean, tomorrow going forward, this conference, just more or where? Tell us what you're.
I think everybody in the room pretty much knows what we're dealing with. I think collaboration is what I'm hoping for.
Right.
I'm hoping more people say, let's work together. Let's try.
Wouldn't
to
that
get
be
this.
great?
Yeah.
Get the traditional and non-traditional medical team together. It's like I always talk about my miracle meeting. I would love to get like Ann McKee, Dr. Tanner, Mark Gordon, Dr. Raymond, get the Ambio, get all this.
Guess
Together
what?
we can
You got a
save
dry run
lives.
at that right here. And, my takeaway from this conference is there are powerful people doing great research and bringing hope to all of us because we're this close to opening the door, finding the key. So if we can diagnose this disease, if we can understand what's going on with brain damage and brain injury, we just haven't been there. We've been fixing hearts and lungs and livers and kidneys and knees.
No, it's
Heck, you can do 3D imaging and get stuff printed now to replace an organ.
But
I guarantee
you're
you,
right.
I know what the number one cause is. I can reach in my wallet and pull out as many dollars as you want, and it's all about the money.
Unfortunately,
That's what it's all about. You got the NFL, you got everybody.
All of us.
right.
there's
Right.
progress.
It's going to take a village to.
We're not
Beat
the
them.
we don't have that many billions, but together,
Oh, come
Yeah.
on.
We can add it up a little bit.
Well, you guys have been a blessing to us and to the whole
Thank you.
movement of CTE and
Thank you.
repeated head impact. So keep doing what you're doing. We need you. We love you guys, and thank you so much for.
With all our hearts.
Yep.
We
Thank
love
you.
you too.
And I stole the hat.
You sold a hat?
I stole the hat. Don't knock it.
You stole it? Or
I stole it right off that table at the Parkman Foundation.
we got it
I grabbed it and ran. I'm like, I'm getting it.
in the offering plate. Come on, thank you all.
This episode of the HeadRush Podcast is brought to you by our personal doctor and team of doctors, Dr. Mizell DeMayo, and she's with the Paradise Behavioral Health, and we are in the
Brainwell program, which is also part of the Millennium Health Center. Dr. Mark Gordon, you've seen him on Joe Rogan and even on our show, the HeadRush Podcast. And hormones. And Mizell is awesome. We love her.
She's our doctor of psychiatry. She works the Mark Gordon program with the hormones, and she adds her twist of genetics, and it basically is melding two wonderful mediums together, and we're getting great help from Dr. Mizell DeMayo.
So please check out her website at paradisebehavioral.com. Look up the Brainwell program. Get involved.
She's sponsoring us. They're sponsoring us for the next year, so we are excited to have them on board and shout the good news to everybody that is watching these broadcasts. So,
is she helping you, Paul?
absolutely,
She's helping me. So go check her out. ParadiseBehavioralHealth.com. Welcome back, folks. We're still on our second episode, but we swapped out guests. As you can see, it's no longer the lovely Karen Siegel and Doug Siegel. Ladies and gentlemen, this man, I got to give him a lot of credit. He started before us. He started before a lot of people on Facebook. His name is Max Gray, and he runs the Chronic Traumatic Encephalopathy News Facebook page. and he shares a lot of our stuff, a lot of Chris Boyce's, a lot of other people's. He really hones in on this disease and the brain injury so much that he came here to the Mac Parkman Repeated Head Conference.
And what a conference it is.
He's been, so you've been collaborating with Karen and Doug Ziegel of the CTE or StopCTE.org for 7 or 8 years.
Yes. And, I kind of look at myself, I try to provide a whole spectrum on CTE, whether it's news, breaking news, opinion, just videos to informative of what CTE is from trusted sources. And so I try to get that out so people like you can be informed to do your jobs and know what's going on.
Let me ask you, people don't just decide to start talking about CTE and giving support to other groups. What is your tie with CTE?
Well, my nephew died in 2012, very tragically, similar to many deaths that you've heard concerning CTE. And for a couple of years, we were just numb. We had seen him kind of spiral down since he was age 16. And we just wanted to know what happened to his life. One day I was researching and I found a PBS video called League of Denial about the NFL trying to hush up Benedict Malu's groundbreaking research on finding pathology of CTE in the brain. And as I watched those episodes, I said, this is my nephew. This is him. And so that started me on CTE. And in 2016, I decided I'm going to start sharing. I see quite a bit of CTE content coming out. I'm going to start sharing it in one place, and maybe people like you will pick it up, and just regular people will pick it up and share it, and we'll start learning about these people that are playing sport and not knowing they're damaging their brain. Parents can make better decisions. Players can make better decisions. Doctors can even learn about this disease. So I started in 2016, and I've posted thousands of articles and research papers, documentaries, everything you can think of concerning CTE. And I think I've probably, looking at the metrics and everything, probably reached 300,000-400,000 people over that time period.
I bet more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping some good results came from that over those years, but it's in honor of my nephew. I started it on Valentine's Day, 2016.
Wow. Well, that's powerful because, again, it doesn't just happen. CTE is starting to affect more people, but awareness needs to be raised. These discussions need to take place. Karen and Doug Ziegel, we call that, he calls Karen the godfather of the CTE awareness movement, right?
Yeah.
And obviously they lost their dear son to a suicide, and he was stage 2 CTE, yes. I believe. And the only years ago when they started out, nobody wanted to hear. And I remember talking to Chris Nowinski of the CLF. And he used to get booed off the stage when he tried to talk to coaches and parents about the dangers of the CTE. I mean, they're all. He was all about. It was just CTE was the holy grail. Now he's getting into repeated head impacts. I mean, Bruce is his influence of repeated head impacts and Karen's of repeated head impacts and repeated blast exposures, regarding the military.
Right.
It's bringing a whole new light and a whole new education and awareness. You're pumping that information out there. You're feeding us new information.
Right.
And,
and sharing ours.
And yes. Sharing, yeah.
So please go like
you guys,
the page
have
and
content. You guys have a lot of networking in your show, And you are learning things that I don't see published. So I'm posting news on you guys.
Well, we hear it from the horse's mouth, like Bruce Parkman, and he funded a research at
I was
Boston
surprised
University.
at that.
150.
Oh, you haven't heard about that?
I didn't know Bruce funded it. I heard about the study. I had no idea Bruce was involved.
Yeah, 152 under 30 and under dead athletes, 100% had
Brain
100%
damage.
had brain damage, and 100% had mental health issues, and
Yeah.
41% had CTE, and they didn't play professionally,
Right.
right? I don't. So it is a lot more prevalent, and the awareness had. Please, if you're a parent out there, Corey and I have just through speaking with different doctors and finding out that the myelin sheath is not even started to cover that's the fatty white tissue. It covers the axons, the neuronal axons, and protects.
Right.
And it's not even formed in these 7-year-old kids that put the helmets on and start banging their heads. Their brain head doesn't have a chance.
Or cowboys, or soccer players, or hockey players, or
Right.
any sport,
Any concussive sport. Yeah.
any concussive, or a sport where there's a risk of injury.
Yeah.
And so getting the hope and awareness out there, talking about it, I think is key. Getting noticed on Facebook like you have. Your followers are tremendous. You have a great amount of followers. I wish we had that many. But we're growing.
We're growing, and
You're growing extremely fast because it's been my graph is like this,
yeah.
but you guys are going up like this right now.
We're getting over 100 to 150 followers a week.
Yeah.
You got a crazy.
You guys got the
Cowboys.
personal aspect. Your podcast not only is it informative and very hopeful about this disease and all the diseases related to repetitive impacts, but you guys are actually entertaining too. And I watch you for the entertainment aspect
He
also.
entertains me all the time.
It keeps me tuning in again.
Well, we're
He likes to poke the bear.
Yeah.
no.
He said he doesn't, but he likes to poke the bear.
Well, if they poke the bear, you get a response that can really be good. So, and that's what you
Brings
do.
out some passion.
Yeah, and that's what you're doing. With, you're poking the bear. You're bringing information out that no people don't really see and don't understand and don't know. So keep poking the bear. Keep bringing the information.
Well, back to repetitive head impacts and Bruce's idea, and you guys have embraced it, and the Patrick, Risha, and Karen and Doug have embraced it. I think it's more relatable to people.
Right.
So you can only go so far talking about CTE or frontal lobe dementia or whatever else, because people, their eyes start, closing on you. But if you talk about something as simple as getting your head racked,
Right.
that happens in a lot of different situations. You get a fight at school, you get arrested, and you're drunk, and you fight with, in prison, domestic abuse, and then all of the sport and activities, and then the military. So there's just millions of people that are interested in repetitive head impacts and its effect on brain health and your overall health.
And understand this, that there is hope. There are modalities. There are things that you can do to help your brain health and your brain heal. Inflammation is the culprit. And there's ways, even as simple as, omega-3s that can lower inflammation in the brain.
Yeah.
Take them with your polyphenols, though. Take your extra virgin olive oil for the omega-3s, but they take a handful of polyphenols, blueberries and stuff like that.
Every
Eat
year,
lots of fish.
Eat lots of
yes,
fish. Yeah.
every year I post at least 2 times the Mediterranean diet because I continually see that it is best for brain health.
Yes.
and inflammation.
Right.
So I post that 2 times a year. I don't know that it's a silver bullet or anything, but it's going to stop some inflammation.
Absolutely. That's a part, we were just talking to Dr. Mark Gordon, he's got a term called neuropermissive. You need to give your brain the ability to heal, and you can only do that by healing, taking the inflammation out of the brain and the things that are causing damage.
Yeah.
And as simple as a diet like that, the Mediterranean diet has proven
Right.
great capabilities of brain health. So
all these things, the bad things that happen when you get your head hit from repetitive head impacts, they're being helped. All of that's being helped by that diet.
Right.
Whether it's any of those diseases, any of those nerve conditions, emotional conditions, inflammation is driving all of that. And if you're working on that, you're going right at the heart of the problem.
Right. Well, we've had a great time talking with you.
We'll let you get back to the
I
party.
feel like I've known you guys for like 6-7 months, which I have over the internet that we just met today at the hotel.
Well, it's a pleasure. Thank you so much for doing what you do and sharing and share, and all that fun stuff.
Go to Chronic Dramatic Encephalopathy News. Share, follow, but also make sure you go to the HeadRush Podcast. Share, follow. Go to our Google platforms. Go to YouTube. Do everything. Do reviews. Do whatever makes you happy. Because if you're happy, we're happy.
We're happy, and it's about awareness and hope. Thank you.
Thank you for keeping
Thank
hope
you,
alive.
man.
Absolutely.
Let's grab another guest.
All right, we'll do. Thank you, man.
Guys.
All right. Welcome to the HeadRush Podcast, brought to you by the Patrick Risha CTE Awareness Foundation. Karen Siegel, thank you so much. Paul?
So go to stopcte.org, learn about their foundation, and they are sponsoring us for the next year. We are thrilled to have them team up with them and bring awareness to this disease.
So please go to their Facebook page, go to their website, check them out. Karen is very, very, very willing to work with you. Contact her, and if you do know her, thank her for us, or just go on their Facebook page and say thank you for sponsoring the HeadRush Podcast. Dude, I tell you, the 2 episodes, I don't think we'll be able to beat it for a while, but we will.
We absolutely.
But
more great guests and more great content, and we're here finishing up 2 wonderful episodes at the Mac Parkman Summit on Repetitive Brain Trauma in Tampa, Florida. And we've had some amazing guests. We still have a day tomorrow to listen to more incredible speakers and doctors. And so I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Good job tonight.
thank you. Yeah, the gongs in the back were getting me a little
I
bit.
bet you they were.
And probably getting our sound guy too.
But yeah.
And I want to say thank you to Transcend Studios for coming out. We do everything through Real News back in Texas. It was just easier for us to bring out Transcend Studios to come out here in Tampa. They did a beautiful job, beautiful lighting, beautiful mics. I want to give them a kudos. Coming up, doing a setup, doing everything
if you
right.
ever need any production.
I want to give kudos. I want to do something different
Yeah.
to close out this episode.
Okay.
So to close this out, y'all have never met my wife before. This is my beautiful wife, Susan Berry. My therapist you've seen on the episode.
Our therapist.
Our therapist.
Yes.
Mine first. But
she's still trying to.
I want to give a shout out to my wife.
Yeah.
She has dealt with this since 1999. We're getting ready to do 27 years together.
Mm-hmm.
She has supported me, backed me, and been through some crazy, crazy shit. And now she's supporting and backing me and bringing hope and awareness to a disease that may or may not kill me. And for her to say, let's go to Tampa, and do a repeated head impact and have the podcast there and learn. She's sitting there. She ain't at the beach enjoying herself, ladies and gentlemen. She's sitting there at the meetings, listening to these speakers that Bruce brought in and educating herself on how traumatic this can be, and listening to Tatiana McCall talking about her son, listen to Karen talk about her son. My therapist has come to help me on the travels, and she's sitting through it and doing it all. And I tell you, the only way we can get hope and awareness out is by beautiful ladies like this. I was going to invite Christine to come on, but I guess she's downstairs. So I'm sorry, Christine, I tried.
I think Susan, no, she's holding your feet to Port Aransas in a month or so you guys can actually get a walk on the beach together, and we're going to take your cowboy boots off and you're going to ground in the
Guess
sand.
what I did yesterday?
Did you walk in the sand?
I even walked into the water. I even walked into Tampa
Really?
Bay.
That's salt water.
Wranglers up and walk.
Oh, go cowboy. Hey.
So I did some ground. I even sent a picture to Nick LeDuc.
Yeah, okay, good. We've got to get him back on soon. So, hey, great job.
Oh yeah, awesome job. You did awesome.
So you just say, we're just
did a great job.
well, thank you. That's so nice. You know what?
Positive reinforcement. Come on.
The message makes it easy, and bringing awareness. Get that book. I've said it 10 times in the last 20 minutes. Get awareness. Get aware of what happens when repeated head impacts affect your children and your loved ones.
I want a word from my wife.
Yeah.
On what she thinks about this weekend so far.
You got to talk, right?
It's been very enlightening. I watched a very strong woman here realize something in her life in the last couple of hours, and also sitting here watching you guys, and the tears flew and flowed out today, realizing what everybody has lost while they're dealing with all of this. When people are losing their sons and their husbands and their brothers and their uncles and their dads, and I still have my husband here. My daughter still has her dad here, and we're still working to not find a cure. We just want to live life to the fullest, and we want him to be happy and not progress as fast as they think he's going to progress.
Well, I think the hope the light is growing, hope is growing. So let's keep sharing that.
All righty.
All right.
Thank you for coming to Tampa.
Thank you.
Have a good one, folks. Like, share, follow, subscribe, go to Google, go to all of our platforms. Leave us a review or a comment on who you want to see on our podcast, or if you have any questions that we haven't answered about repeated head impacts. Other than that, we'll talk to you later from Texas. And thank you again, Travis and
Lucas
with
guys
Trent
are awesome.
Studios. You guys did a great job. Thank you so much. Hopefully next year you'll go to Washington, D.C. with us. Have a good one.
This podcast is for general information only and does not constitute the practice of medicine. The use of this information and the materials linked to this podcast is at the user's own risk. The content of this podcast is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Users should not disregard and delay in obtaining medical advice from any medical condition they have, and they should seek the assistance of their healthcare professionals for any such conditions.